journey again, a village woman who loves adventure. This time I will share my experience visiting the tomb of a saint located in Walangsanga village. On this journey I passed through beautiful rice fields and challenging footpaths, especially since it's currently rainy season. The soft and muddy soil made this journey even more exciting and required patience. Walangsanga village holds a history of a revered saint who dedicated his life entirely to God. He chose to live a life of solitude in a cave located in the forest near a river. In that quiet solitude, he fasted and worshipped with great devotion, far from the worldly noise. In Islamic terminology, a figure such as this is referred to as a wali, meaning the beloved of God. A wali is an individual who has attained a high level of spirituality and has been chosen by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to be his beloved. However, unlike some other religions, in Islam a wali is not required to lead a life of celibacy. They are still permitted to marry and have a family, as Islam teaches that family life is one of the ways to achieve happiness and perfection in life. Although some wali choose to forgo marriage, Islamic law does not obligate them to do so. The decision to remain unmarried is a personal choice left to the individual. The wali I will be visiting this time is Mbah Durya, whom I have mentioned in one of my previous videos. He is an example of a wali who chose to marry and build a family, and he has been blessed with many descendants. I wish to offer prayers for him and seek blessings from Mbah Durya, as well as pray from myself when I visit his grave. Mbah Durya has been known as a faithful helper to those in need, even during his lifetime. Whenever I recall the wali, I am overcome with emotion and tears. I can palpably feel the energy of their unwavering loyalty and devotion to God. Moreover, I am deeply aware of the profound and unshakable bond of love that exists between them and Allah. And this is the route we took to reach the tomb of Mbah Durya. We walked along a narrow footpath located on the edge of a rice field, surrounded by beautiful and lush natural scenery. However, due to the narrowness of the path,
we had to be careful and give way to oncoming pedestrians by stepping aside onto the shoulder whenever we encountered someone approaching from the opposite direction.
Mbah Nur also possessed extraordinary spiritual gifts. One of them was his ability to undertake a spiritual journey to Mecca through a cave located near his humble home with a thatched palm roof. Additionally, he would not appear in photographs if someone took his picture without his permission. However, the most famous story about Mbah Nur is when the Nerbi River flooded and submerged the surrounding rice fields. Yet Mbah Nur's house itself remained unaffected by the flood, despite being located on the riverbank and lower than the surrounding fields. After a pleasant journey, we finally arrived at our destination. I felt extremely delighted to be visiting the tomb of Mbah Nur Durya again after such a long time. This time I was accompanied by my adorable little daughter and a friend who is our neighbor. Around the area of Mbah Nur's tomb, there are many food stalls operated by his descendants. Interestingly, only his descendants are allowed to sell here, except during the annual Haul Akbar event, which opens up opportunities for other vendors. And now we have arrived at the first gate of Mbah Nur Durya's tomb. To reach the tomb site, we must descend a fairly long and steep staircase. This is the atmosphere at the Mbah Nur Durya tomb complex. The atmosphere here is enlivened by the sound of the rushing river water, which flows strongly and rapidly. Pilgrims from all over Indonesia, from major cities to remote areas, flock to this place to pay their respects and pray. And this is the river which flows from a spring source located on Mount Selamat. The exact location of these springs remains a mystery, as no one has yet to discover it.
Mbah Nur had a blessed spring that served as his source of drinking water during his daily fasting. He fasted every day throughout the year, and the spring became a source of strength and blessings for him. Unfortunately, the blessed spring is now closed and its water is being commercialized. I firmly believe that Mbah Nur would not have allowed this to happen if he were still alive, as he would have wanted the spring to remain a source of blessings for all, rather than a commodity to be bought and sold. I took the blessed water for free because I am a resident of Walangsanga village. We have arrived at the grave of Mbah Nur Durya, one of the AULIYA, who is believed to be a source of mercy for humanity according to Islamic teachings. However, this view is not universally accepted by all Muslims, as the Islamic community is divided into various groups with differing understanding and beliefs. And finally, we head home on a different path from the one we took when we arrived here. Let's enjoy the beautiful scenery along the way back from here. This is the road home that will pass through Genting village. Before we arrive at the village, we will be treated to a beautiful view of lush green rice fields with a black drop of mountains and rows of hills. Additionally, we will also pass by the Genting village public cemetery. On my right, there is a steep cliff and a large river flowing, which is a continuation of the river near Mbah Nur's grave. This is the last day before Ramadan, and many residents of Genting village are visiting their family graves. The road is also crowded with visitors to Mbah Nur's grave and villagers returning from the public cemetery. And coincidentally, today is Friday, a day when Muslims usually throng mosques and graves for Friday prayers and visits.
Jadi lagi. Padahal lagi. Kayak mau bu seblak mengkonon ya. Iya. Kayaknya melu. Apa iki? Iya siji.
And this is the view of Genting village, a densely populated village with a sufficiently large area. The village is located somewhat far from Walangsanga village, so it has its own large mosque.
Nevertheless, Genting village is still part of Walangsanga village. The village is also a route passed by pilgrims from various parts of Indonesia, making it more crowded compared to other villages in Walangsanga.
Ini udah nyampe.
And we got a ride back to our village. Perhaps this is one of the kindnesses of Mbah Durya towards us, because he knew we were already exhausted.
Oh ya bodoh aku